My first day on season 2, well, we called it day 0. It's episode 1. It's sort of the first scene with Isabela and me, Dina and Ellie. And that was, day 0, and it was just, I had to put like a jacket on and a backpack and a sling a gun over me, and that was actually quite difficult. I actually had quite a hard day trying to get all of my things on and get the gun the right way up. It was a bit of a thing. Anyway, it was really fun, and then the last day was... We've had a few last days, to be honest. The very last day we did was, a much later episode, so I can't really tell you what it was about. But really good first and last days, as far as first and last days go. First day on set, I think I was a bit intimidated by how large the set was. And for some reason, I was fighting the feeling of thinking I was going to get fired. And then the last day, I felt...
Which last day?
Yeah, what?
Yeah, we had several last days.
Yesterday.
Yeah. Good feeling.
Yeah. My first day was great because there was a scene with Rutina, who plays my wife, and Benjamin, and Ezra, who plays Benjamin, our son, and that was fun. And Pedro, and we in between takes, I would just sit on the ground, and he's playing with trucks and airplanes and stuff, and we would just kind of play with toys.
Legos.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah. My first day was day 0, and it started with Craig gathering everyone up. Majority of them had already done the whole season of this show, so I was a little bit intimidated. He was like, season 2, let's go. And then we started filming, and then it was all a blur, but it happened really quickly, and we didn't reshoot the scene, so I think it went well. And then I felt really good because that was like my first time acting with Bella. We didn't do any chemistry reads or anything. It was just whatever it was, we were either screwed or okay. And last day, I ended up being so emotional. I hugged Bella so tight, and I wrote Bella this long message that Bella actually read, because I was so emotional for this journey we had together. It was just...
Bella told me about that. They said it was so touching, that what you wrote.
I wanted Bella to be able to read it whenever they felt like they weren't okay or loved. There were some really big, action scenes this season and stunt scenes, so I think the big stunt days are the ones that kind of stick in my head the most. And when I think about shooting the second season, I think about all of the sort of stunt work and the physical work that I had to do, because it was so fun and they were some of my favourite days. And then the challenging, well, I guess those days are challenging, but in a way they're sort of... I guess technically they're the most challenging days, but for me they're almost the least challenging because I've got such a focus and I'm so engaged all the time. The most challenging days for me actually are the days where I've not got very much to do. If I'm in a scene and have one line and I'm just hanging out there waiting to say that line, and they're probably the most challenging days where I have to just focus for a long time, but they're not actually be very much to do.
I think for me, it's some of it you've seen in the trailer was just really intense combat scenes, and carrying not only the bravery and the heroism, but also the fear of, not so much for my own personal well-being, but the fear of loss of the community and the family, and that was probably certainly the most challenging. I think both physically and spiritually.
I remember one day, I think for episode 2, I slept maybe 2 hours, and
Shit.
I was doing a whole scene where I'm walking and talking, and first couple takes, I don't know what was coming out of my mouth.
I was at the monitor, I saw this happen.
Yeah, I was completely just,
I don't know what this is.
I wasn't working that day.
Your brain?
My whole entire soul was just...
Wow.
I realized sleep is so important. I was walking, but unconscious.
I remember this.
Yeah, that was such a tough
Why did you
day.
sleep 2 hours? What happened?
I don't know. I think I was just... I was feeling some tension. I was just staring at the ceiling.
Feeling some tension.
I remember Mazin, I think he dropped a couple of lines, and Mazin was just at the monitor
No, no.
Yeah.
It was mostly because it was going really well, and you were killing it, and then we go back, reset.
Oh,
Those are hard. Big walk and talk all the way through
the walk
town.
and talk. You know, everything else was
I hate
fine,
walk and
but
talk.
the walk and talk is so difficult for some reason.
Yeah, no, because you have a bunch of cameramen that are like looking at you like.
Yeah.
And then
There's
also
always
just
movement.
telling you where to go, and you have to be casual, but you're really careful about where you step and how far you step and the pace that you're stepping and what line is delivered when, because I have to deliver the last line at the red building, but the first line right at the bottom of the steps.
Yeah.
It's really an
And you
art.
guys were weaving and turning and stuff, so
Yeah,
you don't want to get stacked, and you're kind of just trying to.
It's crazy.
Doing that on 2 hours of sleep is
Silly technical stuff.
not advised.
Never.
But we walk and talk in life. Why is it so? What's so hard?
No, because there's so many elements that you have to consider.
Yeah, the damn cameras.
So many components. Yeah. Wish they would just get out of the way.
Yeah, I wish we had cameras. Let us walk and talk without any cameras.
Anything with cardio was really difficult because I had skinny jeans on. Naturally, of course. Of course I had skinny jeans on. The Apocalypse, Neil Druckmann. Yeah, I don't know. That was in the character design. But, you know, we were loyal to the story in that way. And then also, what else?
Stretchy
what else?
pants.
Yeah, not stretchy for me. But by the end of the day, they were stretchy. Okay, so, wait. Best memory, probably honestly, from the first episode, the barn scene where we're in the New Year's Eve party in a church, I guess. And we're just macking, and it was just beautiful. The day that we shot it, it was just perfect. It was one of those days where you feel the magic on set, and then you never know if it's going to translate, but also watching it, I was like, oh, so when you feel it, it does translate, especially if you have an amazing team, you know?
It was great.
Some of my favorite days were the stunt days where I got to throw myself around all day. They were so exhausting. Like you do it like once or twice at full energy, and then you have to keep doing it for the rest of the day, which is really fun but very exhausting. But I had a great time, and the stunt team was so brilliant. Cassandra, my stunt double, would do all the rehearsals for me so I wouldn't get too knackered. She was fantastic. So it was really fun. I really enjoyed. That was my favorite sort of new element of the season, was getting to fight and be more like physically engaged.
Yeah. Remind me not to piss you off, because you're clearly a badass and you could kick my ass now very, very clearly, and I don't want that. I don't want that.
He was trying to rip my right arm out of my socket just a bit ago. She had an entire move. It was like an arm wrestle move, but then exactly. Like I need to break my shoulder again.
Yeah.
Anything for you.
Thanks.
There's a really fascinating gap of time between the end of season 1 and the start of season 2, and the way that whatever that missing period is for the audience, the way that it authors the dynamic between us is kind of the antithesis of where they get to by the end of season 1, without, I would say, before the lie.
Before the lie, yeah.
You know,
before that last episode.
because even if we're conscious of it or not, I feel like, at least in the way that I played it and understood it, that once I lie to you, I've like crossed some invisible line, some invisible point of no return.
Yeah.
That I'm not aware of in my frontal lobe.
Yeah.
But and I think that you have a weird feeling, and that's why you asked me to tell you the truth. You asked me to swear.
Yeah, for sure.
So we both know, but can't face.
Yes, exactly.
So then that kind of informs where we are.
Yeah.
5 years later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wouldn't wish it upon anybody.
It's working its days away.
The scale of the set really took me by surprise. They built the whole town that you could walk through.
I don't think I've ever done a scene this big with this many people. And then we're also fighting the elements.
A gust of wind that might blow your eyebrows off.
We were really in the snow, in the mountains, on horses, wind hitting our faces.
Something that's so thrilling about being in the elements, and it just really helps be in the world.
Everybody, the makeup and costumes, everything, it looks so real and it feels so real that when they actually call action, a group of people are literally chasing after me. It's like very scary.
There's a lot of action this year. Ellie is much better when it comes to fighting people. I had to learn some jiu-jitsu, and like that's sort of my fighting style.
Despite all the action-packed, thrilling moments, there's a solid core and foundation of character-driven story.
The cast of characters is larger. We had additional people join us. Once we bring these characters together, those different values, those different goals, those different ways that they view this world will eventually reveal more of who they are as they make their choices.
These choices we make, the actions we take, they influence other people. Their emotions now become their stories.
So much irony and mystery, and then it takes a seriously unexpected turn.
Who's the hero and who are the monsters?
You know the game, but it's beyond what you think you know. That's all I'll say.